Rainy afternoon here on Saturday at GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon Festival, and it's time for the Gryp Dryft taxi sessions. Kyle Heyer, joined by Jared Deanda, who throws on the headset, joins me for a little party here this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, party, that's an understatement. I was looking on the roof right now, a little cold up there, but I was so excited, so I apologize, I'm a little delayed here, only because when this thing started, I saw Michael Essa drift the entirety of turn 1. Did you see that?
I didn't see it. I was in here watching. I was watching the thumbnail screen before we went live, so I'm kind of jealous.
I was up on the roof, and yeah, absolutely, you could just see the excitement. And you know, Adam Jabay, what's his exact title? Race director.
Motorsports director. Okay. Yeah.
You said it's the best thing that GRIDLIFE does.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's just a culmination of all of it, and I think it really celebrates motorsports, and it's just eclecticism, you know, from the grip and the drift, and overall just seeing, again, you're seeing Chris Forsberg, you're seeing, you know, Rome Sharpens here, you're seeing all these pro-ams, the pro spec drivers, you're seeing GLTC, you're seeing track battle, you're seeing the variety, the potpourri, as I've really kind of adopted that word. Overall, what's going down here is very interesting.
Yeah, so this is basically, we throw the drift cars out there, we throw the grip cars out there. I saw Pete Lindbergh in the Mini Coupe out there. That's a Sunday Cup car that Fields Auto Works is building into a caged wheel-to-wheel race car for our pit race event, which will be an endurance event in October. So Pete's out there having fun. And the cool thing is everyone is allowed to have passengers in this. So HPD track battle cars, I see Peter Granberg out there on track. Here comes the Drift Riot boys, and there's a couple of Sunday Cup cars in the backdrop as well.
So cool. Again, just the variety, celebrating all things GRIDLIFE. I have some friends of mine that I used to work for a magazine called TMR. I'm going to date myself here. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, my buddy Rodney Wills and his wife Joe are here in the building, and just getting those conversations going about old Honda stuff, or you know, the history of why GRIDLIFE came to be, and you get new blood, young blood, you know, just and old blood. You just get kind of this. I don't think it's a pass of the guards. It's just about education, information, and obviously excitement. So the Drift HQ Nissan Z here, and really good job there. Sarah Haro out there. I just saw her in her Mustang. Taxi Garage boys. If you don't know about Taxi Garage, are you familiar with Taxi Garage?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, they got their whole setup here.
Oh my gosh, I know. But like, just if you don't know, take your Razor Crazy Cart, the Crazy Cart brand, and either the standard or the XL, and there are the fits.
Love it.
Oh gosh, tout le fit to quit. That's what I've tried to help Sean brand that. But Taxi Garage, they develop parts that better the experience with your already really cool Crazy Cart, but wheels, different power, like just all of those things. So, and because that's what we're doing here, right? Like cars, factory, you know, there's some that are decent, some are worse, but you're modifying. That's we're addicts, right?
Yeah, for sure. James Morgan was piloting the red Honda Fit. That's a borrowed car from Jake Abbott. I think that was Sam Dooling out there on track at the Fits as well, given the drive. That was awesome.
Sorry, did you see the driver like, what the heck?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Look out. Man, the FPV drone stuff is awesome. Look at this. Here we go. There's all sorts of, what's on the top of that thing? It's got like a...
That's a vane. Yeah.
That's insane. I've never seen that before.
You never seen that mount? So it basically has kind of a weather vane, so it's going to give you actually true to where the vehicle goes, even off-road.
That's really cool. And yeah, a little slip up there. The track surface is really greasy. It's really kind of misty and wet and cold out there, so not a lot of grip to be had. Yeah. And goes back to the conversation we had with you the other night about, do you want grip? Well, you need a little bit because you can't just laterally slide off course in drift. You have to have a little bit of lateral grip just to keep the car going the right direction. You have to be able to point it and go there.
Dylan Hughes in his fast orange Falcon Tires Permatex E36. Dylan Hughes notably is, from the Pacific Northwest. He won in what Ryan Sage, who is president of Formula Drift, and I would agree was the craziest Formula Drift round ever. Orlando Speed World, lightning struck probably, 100 feet from our track. It was insane. And Dylan Hughes came out on top. That was Formula Drift Orlando earlier this year. Larry Chen is just, I always joke that Larry Chen is omnipresent. He's like the photo Jesus. He's just always watching, always judging, always capturing all of the moments. And there he is, chasing him down in his Toyota GR Supra.
There's Drift Right guys back at it again. Zach behind the wheel of the 350. I believe that's Ben in the kind of the primer color S chassis in front of him. Back and forth. No grip cars chasing these boys around just yet, but the Fits are out there going at it. I saw Kevin Vo in his Scion FRS Club TR car. So again, passengers going for rides, really experiencing the context of drift cars on track and really seeing what they do out the windshield.
Yep. And I think it's cool that just again threading the needle with you're seeing the grip cars out here in the wet, less than ideal conditions, and now the grip cars are becoming the drift cars.
Yep.
But you can see just tapping the brakes there, and that's what's interesting too is like obviously dude. Droney's getting a little excited there. We got Tesla out there. We going flat.
That's Tony Barber and his number 333 Model 3. There's again James Morgan chasing around. And
that's Dylan Hughes again, the dozer.
Peter Granberg is out there in his car. Ooh, watch that wall. I'm getting nervous when it's so wet.
Nah, we're good. Like I said, he won.
Told you.
But it's not Dylan Hughes. Like I said, he won in the wildest. If you have not seen it, go back and watch the finals, or maybe even like the Great 8. I think it was like the Great 8 or Final 4 of Formula Drift Orlando. It was insane. Look at this. We're going to land on the roof.
Let's do it. Galen behind the wheel of the S chassis underneath us, LS under the hood of that car, chasing Corvette. And right behind, I think that's a Time Attack car. Yes, it is. It's one of our street modified competitors.
Is that an EF?
Yeah.
Nice looking EF right there. I saw that vehicle earlier. Don't know if it's the actual Mugen kit or just a little Wings West jammer, but that is definitely from my era.
And up onto the front straightaway again. You mentioned drifting, the banking. That's hard to do.
There is Hurt running that K-Series power underneath the hood of the S13. Looks like Hurt got a little bit of hurt on his passenger side door. Hurtrex Eugene Jr., he is on the passenger side. He's on the left-hand side. Watch the right-hand side.
I'm trying to figure out who's in that eBay Motors Fit that's out on track. Those are GRIDLIFE owned Fits.
That's right.
But GRIDLIFE doesn't necessarily have any drivers specifically for those cars.
Right.
So I'm curious who's behind the wheel.
Sorry, we got a battle of Vipers there. We got the Switch Viper and Dean Carnage Carney. This is where it gets down to some really interesting things where you get these pro drivers driving with a Pro Am or Pro Spec.
Look at all these Time Attack cars out on track. Fez Bobber, Sam Dooling. Greg Deal's behind him as well. Oh, Fez going for a slide in the GR86.
Dude, get out of here and go drive a Fit, Kyle.
It'd be so fun.
Why don't you?
I forgot my helmet. I got to.
Oh, excuses, so man. Watch your toes. You got excuses for days. You're dropping them all.
But I'm a little jealous that I haven't actually gone on track in one of these sessions yet, and I'd like to make it a point to do so.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I think you deserve it. You've done a great job.
Look at this behind. I see Kevin Vo in the backdrop chasing a couple more cars in this train.
Great job there by the Drift HQ.
Yeah, not a lot of smoke. Again, the track's pretty wet, so you're not going to see a lot of that.
Making steam. We're cooking rice, dude.
Let's do it.
Got the rice cooker.
A couple more Club TR cars chasing an S2000 and an FRS. And again, those are like the classic grip chassis in the track.
Oh, look at this. Forsberg breaks out La Flama Negra. This was formerly La Blanca, the M56.
Look at this.
No, they never made one, but this house is the 5.6-liter V8 under the hood of that Infiniti M body. Like, you know, I mean, I love this car. This is one of my favorite cars. Look at working all the way to the wall. Maybe Ultimaniac needed some fresh tires. Forsberg absolutely doing it for the Grand. Look at right up there, Dean Carnage Carney. Oh, look at him threading the needle against Dean Carnage Carney.
Oh, that was
great
tight.
shot. That's gonna, Larry, man, put that on the gram. Here comes Sarah Haro. Sarah Haro on that TireStacks.com Ford Mustang.
Getting out angle pretty quick.
Yep.
Watch
She is
look at the skeleton hanging off.
Oh,
the back.
she's got the graphic. She's a pirate, man. She's a mermaid. Sarah Haro. She'll steal your soul and she'll steal your points. She steals your line. Sarah's great. She's a fantastic woman, and she's having some fun. She's a very busy gal, so it's cool to see out her having some fun.
Really neat, man. It's a busy racetrack right now. That's good to see. Again,
that's an understatement.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's spectators again. Trackside, there's no restriction. You can just walk up, grab a helmet from somebody.
Need a cage, need a helmet.
Yeah, well, you need to have a cage. Yes.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Look at that.
But I think it's a really cool thing that anybody here at the festival can walk right in and just be a part of this. I mean, your general admission ticket gave you the opportunity to do this, so that's why you got to come to GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon or GRIDLIFE Midwest, only at the festivals. So come check it out. Join us next season, next year.
Yeah, the festivals have just been an absolute treasure, and again, hats off to the whole team and working with just, you know, just some great people. The energy here is just, you could feel it. And if you're not here in the building, look at this. Forsberg working that M56, La Fama Negra, Dean Carnage Carney in his party car, that Dodge Viper.
Full of people.
Yeah.
4 people in that thing.
Here comes Hertratz Eugene Jr., a.k.a. Hurt.
Hand out the
Standing,
window.
feeling the flow. You know when you're cruising. Oh, he's saying, pass me, let's go. Who do we got here? Is that Danger Dan? I don't know if that's Dan. I don't think so.
And, well, there's an awesome pass around the outside there and throws it into 5-6. Look at the angle on that into 5.
Nice job on the S13.
Yeah. Back into 6. So what's he got now? He's got the same thing. That what do you call it?
What, the splitter out back? Or
on the roof.
The vane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Vector.
That's
Vector.
so cool. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, those came out multiple years ago, probably about 10 years ago. We utilized them really heavily in Formula Drift. Who's this?
469
GR
car.
Supra.
Yeah, this is Rich Enriquez, who's one of our track battle competitors in the street modified category out of PhD Racing's camp. They typically bring a ton of these Supras to the racetrack. PhD doesn't have a heavy presence here this weekend, but they really have done a lot of modifications and a lot of custom design work, aero work for the new GR Supra chassis.
Yeah, great looking car. I like the white and the black.
Good looking.
Dean Carnage Carney hanging with Forsberg, and rightfully so. He's got a few more passengers than Dean Carney has. Dean Carney competes in the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Obviously, Forsberg, a 3-time champ, piloting his fun party car.
Hey, I got a chance to ride with Forsberg a couple of years ago in his 370 here at this track, and man, that was fun. I really want to know who's in the GRIDLIFE pits. I'm going to try to ask Adam and figure out who's in those cars.
Yeah,
it might be
Sean.
Adam.
Might even be Fenton. Tex Fenton.
I got to know, because again, they're not like they're just customer cars. There are cars that we own.
The people want to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're never going to know.
Mystery
Nick Ward in that Taxi Garage S14.
Again, look at this train of cars, all different. So you got drift car, grip car, grip car, grip car, drift car, just back and forth.
Hopscotch demo session.
Look at that. That is so cool. You got hands out the window and the
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know where you're getting into when you come into this session. You might have to temper the flame a little bit, and even the drone drivers, the drone pilots.
Elijah Salberg is his first GRIDLIFE ever, is in that E36, I believe, right ahead of this car here.
Got some gold diggers action there, the E46.
Colin Zawinski right behind in the Purple S chassis. And that's a grip car going for a slide. That's fun. Why not? Ooh, little door-to-door action here into the hairpin at turn 4. Got good angle on the gold digger car here.
Nice job.
Little transition down the straightaway here. Again, there's a lot of corners in a very short distance, so you're linking things pretty quickly. You don't have to carry a ton of speed like you did at Lime Rock Park last month.
Kyle, just just to interject here.
Yeah.
So you and I were talking here. Obviously, this is a 4:30 schedule. They went on just about right after 4 o'clock. And then at 5:10, we have our final GLTC race where there is drifting going down. I know we're not commentating it, but are we streaming it?
We are, after GLTC Race 4, stream is done for the weekend. And it's all about enjoying the rest of the evening trackside, which I'm looking forward to get trackside up on the rail and really cheer on some drift folks. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, we did night shift drift last night. We got more drift after dinner time. There's Tony Barber went around for a loop in the Tesla. But yeah, stream is done after race 4. Let the boys pack up and move on to Heartland Motorsports Park, where we'll finish off our stream and our season finale in October 7th through 9th. Here we go. Here comes some more 2-time attack track battle cars behind the Silver S chassis here and sweeping right to left. Enriquez getting a good view of this. Kevin Vo in the background. Peter Granberg and another K-Swap BRZ. Went for a ride yesterday and thought it was the coolest thing ever. Here he is.
Yeah, you said that. That's which I love. I think that's just a great compliment to what we're trying to accomplish here.
Again,
it's the melding of worlds.
I want to see who's in that eBay fit.
It is driving you nuts.
It's driving me nuts because who got that chance? I want to be in there.
Yeah, I think next round you need to be fit.
I think so.
You need to be fit in the fit.
Fit in the fit. I'm going to be fit in the Fiesta soon. I'm building the Fiesta for Sunday Cup.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll be competing next season in 2023. So
really?
On Sundays only, because I'll be streaming on Fridays and Saturdays. But yeah, I'll be going out and doing a little time attack action.
Oh no!
Look out!
Well,
Whoop.
Okay, good navigating around.
It'll be an epic shot from Larry later.
Right.
One of those slow motion, slow it down, come through the smoke and out the other side. Again, I just think this is the coolest thing as a spectator to jump in, because you get so many opportunities to jump in with whatever kind of car you want to get an experience in all at once. And it's just a sensory overload for about a half hour or so. Mike Coons again in the Subaru. That's Sam Dooling in the Fit. There's Colin Zielinski in the Purple S chassis through turn 8 there. Don't know who's in that red car in the background, but we've seen this car really hanging. Look down the straightaway, back and forth, really committing here.
Like it. Love it. Want some more of it.
Got the cell phone out the window. That's going to be a great Instagram reel later off whoever that is.
Hashtag GRIDLIFE.
Hashtag Alpine Horizon.
Alpine Horizon Festival.
Hands out both the windows now. There you go.
We're approaching the witching hour here. Our final GLTC race, 5:10. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of dramas coming into that race too.
Oh,
we got to go over, so we'll talk about that. You're gonna have to stay tuned for that information, though.
Yeah, well, I'll be here. But yeah, the fans. It's gonna be good.
Slipping and sliding, drifting and sliding through turns 8 and 9 here into the final corner here. Almost in the sunroof, basically.
Right. Riding shotgun. No rush, dude.
No rush.
Sticker says
Looks like he's rushing. He's sideways and flying right now, back into pit lane. So there goes Zielinski into the infield section again. That, again, is one of our eBay Motors Honda Fits. Chasing and getting all the perspectives.
Yeah, nice job by Zielinski. Oh,
whoop,
no.
Look out, and
boop.
Clever little jump on the brakes and slide around for the Fit. Taxi garage on through. Dragging what looks like a diffuser, but just the bumper folded out flat.
Nick Jeezy.
So, real question.
Yes, sir.
With the bumpers.
Yeah.
Do they replace them like every round, or do they just?
Yeah, there's quite a few drivers that have a bumper budget, like notably Chelsea Denofa. That dude goes through a ton of bumpers. It really comes down to the vehicle. You know, the Mustang kind of has a long hang, so they'll lose some bumpers. Ideally, you know, they want to hold on to them. It's just kind of a, you know, as you can see here on this S13, has that bash bar there. It's an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
You know, just want to make sure that, you know, the car looks cool. That's the M56 there at Forsberg. I believe he's got to be outside of the car. Yeah, he's got some passengers there.
Oh, they're getting put on the
they're
hook
throwing
there.
it off. Yeah, throwing it off. That thing's going back to California. Love the EG 4-door, man. Great looking car. Classic.
In the mix, there's one car in the grass there. We'll just ride on by it, no worries.
Don't know who this is. We haven't seen that vehicle much out here this weekend.
I know this one, Peter Granberg. Just showing me the underside of his hood here. K24 Swap BRZ, new to this season.
So cool.
In our Falcon Club TR class. Who is this? I need to know. 225 in our track battle competition. It looks like it's
S13. Just so that's another S chassis. The S13 225 turning into more of a drift car than a grip car.
Yeah, 225 is Matt Beck in track mod, and he's certainly getting the most for his money right now. Paid for a grip ticket, got a drift ticket. But doing all the above here. Here we go. Back here comes the Drift Riot boys back at it again. Oop. Got to cancel on the initiation there for a second, then back into it.
Larry Chen, a busy man there with that scaffolding, the Eiffel Tower off the front of that Toyota GR Supra.
Again, he gets so many laps out of that car this week, and he probably does more laps than a lot of the competitors do, following everybody around. There's an 86 in the background I haven't seen yet. Interesting colors on it. Kind of the TRD colors in the background for a moment.
Just absolutely ripping through some SD cards, Larry Chen. That's so cool.
Around they go.
Whoop, looped it.
And a couple of the grip cars will sneak on through. There is Pete Lindbergh again in the Fields Auto Works Mini Coupe. And Pete was working on that car, kind of shaking it down this weekend, trying to get it prepped for getting a cage and going wheel-to-wheel racing later this fall. But he comes from racing a first-gen Honda Fit, so stepping into a 2013 Mini Coupe was a pretty different change. Suspension geometry is all different. It's a very different chassis, even though they might share the same category. A lot to learn with that car.
Just kind of keeping it going here, like you asked earlier in a session about the rain. How does that throw things, for the drifters? It really doesn't create any sort of change. But there's Matt Field, as we talk about. It's tire attrition. The moisture is actually going to let the tires not, burn up quicker. So it's actually good for the show and the longevity of the tires, but obviously not creating the big smoke, which some people are thankful for.
Yeah, well, I think there are times when it's super dry and that smoke kicks up. You actually can't see anything.
Right.
So I think there's a trade-off between being able to see it all and maybe not creating all the smoke that everyone comes to come see. But I think it's really neat. You can spend more laps on the racetrack and get more opportunities. And I think in a session like this, certainly gives you more reps and then passengers more reps. So I think that's a good thing.
I don't know if you've seen that vehicle there, Matt Field. That's his demo car. Look at this Escort ZX2, man.
Oh my
the 369. What are we looking at? This is got that rally light out front.
Yeah, I have not seen this car yet this weekend on track. It's Lucas Urban, who's running that in Sunday Cup. It's an Escort ZX2, as you mentioned. His best lap time of the weekend, a 109.477.
Not bad.
What a unique car. Really unique car to run in Sunday Cup.
Cody Bakshi's out there in his Falcon Tires Field Suspension Pedal Commander is a S14. Actually, S13.4, I believe.
Little ground strike there on the drone. Bounce it off the pavement. Saw someone took a cone with them. A couple of cones have gone places. M-Spec out there as well. Here's, turn it back around. Matt Field is in front of Larry right now, but a couple more cars getting unspun. Wow, look at Sam Doolin going for a slide in the fit. Who says he can't drift a front-wheel drive Honda?
Pull that handbrake. Just get that back end loose. Get some lunch plates.
Here comes Field again.
I was talking with Colette Davis a little bit ago. Colette's out there in the FCRX7. She didn't know you could ride the wall. So last night she's like, wait, what? You could do that? She had no idea until today. Well, just get out there. A lot of the drivers were exceeding the actual race course line, and Colette Davis had no idea until today.
Yeah, so they actually coned off a lot of the exit of turn 4, that right-hander, because the pavement was kind of coming up. They didn't want anybody to kick up any chunks of pavement. But after that, it's all fair game. So, yeah, ride the wall. Make it fun for the spectators.
I predict a riot, a drift riot.
I think that's Ben Gibson again from Drift Riot. I think that's Ben. There's a handful of them. And here comes another S chassis.
Blunt Wraps Graphic Company.
There goes that Escort again. That's such a cool car.
Right. So wonder what happened to Forsberg, the M56. Also the Altamaniac, a busy man this weekend between, GLTC, Brian Heitkotter. He's about to race, so he's got to get back to the pits, make sure, he's going to be spotting for Heitkotter.
Yep, and again, I think that they got 3 passengers in there. They're just spectating trackside now. Not a bad place to spectate from, actually.
Front row seats.
Field's in turn 4 again. Larry Chen behind him, getting all the shots. Again, Grid Life on Instagram. Follow us there, and you'll see a lot of this Larry Chen content later. Also, you can follow Larry Chen's Instagram, Larry_Chen_photo with an F, I think. You'll find him. Google Larry, look up Larry Chen's Instagram.
Larry_Chen_FOTO.
Yeah, photo. Yeah, got it. I got it. We're good.
Photo with an F. Kelsey Rawlings out here in her Ford performance-powered S14. Oh, she's running the 15 front end now. That's actually new. She's been running 14.
Whoa, look out.
There's a 14 chassis, but she's got the S14.5 front end.
Kicked up
S15 front.
Kicked up a ton of the marbles in the clag there. Got a little bit wide. But really aggressive initiations. Aggressive changes in direction.
Right now, again, tonight's lineup at GRIDLIFE, just to create more promo. We got Nada Toy, Call Me Charisma, Knight Lavelle, Jake Hill, Suko, Taking Back Sunday, and Puppet. So that's our lineup, man. It's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a fun time for sure. It's a little chillier here today, but once everyone's dancing and throwing the hands in the air, it's going to be pretty warm out there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So shutting it down here, what, top of the hour, I think?
Yeah, just about. We got about 2 or 3 more minutes of this, then we'll get prepped for our GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 4 action. And again, there's a little bit of dramas coming into race 4.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, so we'll cover that a little bit. Not a lot of drama.
You're building this up, man. You better deliver. It better be good.
I think it is good because it drastically changes what the outcome of the race would have been. So,
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it explains a lot of questions I had about race number 3. So we'll get into that in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 4. Still Gryp Dryft sessions now. Carney getting after it here in 5, 6, and 7. Getting the last couple laps out of these tires before we'll set up for the last couple drift sessions this evening. Here you go. Get the drone on the hook. And I think with that, that will probably be it. We're going to go retrieve some of the... Ooh, there's some suspension damage on this car here, Jared.
Ooh, yeah. One wheel's a little wonky there, front right.
Yep.
All right, on that note, I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll come back with GLTC in just a few minutes.
The more power you have, the more grip you have, the more you push the limits, the more stopping power you need. Get race-proven technology. Hawk Performance.
Hey, we still on this weekend for a little?
You know it. I'm in desperate need of some.
What about you, Jim?
No, my sister's getting the wedding. She's getting married, so.
When adventure calls, make sure you're ready to answer. Stable 360 ethanol treatment is specifically formulated for year-round use, so your engines will be ready when you are. Ready, willing, stable.
For those who don't settle when others do. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
Ed Vance here, and I'm at my favorite place again.
Sorry, did you say your name is Ed Vance?
That's me.
Like advance?
Crazy, right? And it just so happens he knows everything in advance.
Oh, you know the future? Did you know I needed 10W30?
No. I just know everything here in Advance Auto Parts, like where the 10W30 is.
So you don't know what I'll do next.
Actually, I do. You will be going to the oil aisle.
He's good.
He's Ed Vance.
I spent a lot of time here.
He's here a lot.
This is how we advance.
We've been powering the American road since before it was paved. Our first breakthrough in motor oil was introducing it. And we've been reinventing it ever since. From the world's first high-mileage oil to the world's first synthetic blend. There are those who change with the times, and those who drive them. Valvoline, the original motor oil.
At 303, we're always chasing perfection. Protect your ride with graphene nanospray coating. Now, boost protection, shine, and slickness with Graphene Detailer. Level up your detailing game. Harness the power of graphene with 303.
Green flag flies, and we're racing. The height counter pushes Jensen along the exit of turn number 4. This win, it's big fly! It's time to go racing at GRIDLIFE Midwest. Hill side by side. O'Gorman around the outside now for the top spot. Tom O'Gorman goes to lead. 3 wide for the lead.
This is great racing, folks. This is what this series is all about.
Green flag flies, and we're racing. The height counter pushes Jensen along the exit of turn number 4. This win, it's big fly! It's time to go racing at GRIDLIFE Midwest. Hill side by side. O'Gorman around the outside now for the top spot. Tom O'Gorman goes to lead. 3 wide for the lead.
This is great racing, folks. This is what this series is all about.
Back live from Pikes Peak International Raceway, GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon Festival, Saturday afternoon. The final race of the weekend is about to begin, and as you can see, it is chilly outside, and it is wet and cold, and all the things that it was not just a couple of days ago here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. I've been here about 6 days now, and it was about 90 degrees all week long, and now it is probably in the 50s at this point. Now, 49 degrees outside is what it says, and a little bit rainy to boot. So the track conditions are going to be absolutely awful coming off of a drift session, and the track is going to be wet. So our final GLTC race of the weekend is coming up in just a couple of minutes. We've got some news to talk about with the grid order here in just a couple of minutes. First of all, let's take a look at our eBay Motors track preview and get a sense of where we're going around this 1.3-mile, 9-turn road course. It all starts with a run down the front straightaway here. This track was built in 1997, was used by IRL and IndyCar and by NASCAR until 2005. Turn 1, climb up onto the banking there, all the way around to turn 2. You're going to enter the kink and then hard on the brakes into turn number 3 and enter this tight autocross style infield section. Over to turn 4, on the brakes again. Wrap it around into 5, 6, 7, 8. You're bouncing curbs right, bouncing curbs left, bouncing right, and bouncing left again. Then up out of turn number 8 and 9 and onto the front straightaway to complete a lap around Pikes Peak International Raceway. All of that happens in just over a minute around here. As we wait for the grid to get set and us to go racing, a reminder that this is about a 12 to 15-minute race. If you've never seen GLTC before, this is a power to weight class series where all the cars are in the same class together, running power to weight. That's why an S2000 can run against a Corvette, can run against a Mustang, etc. It's all about balancing cars on their performance based on power, weight, and tire. So far this weekend, Jeremy Swenson has won 3 of the 4 races. Of course, we have a 5-car field invert that will set our grid for this 4th and final race of the weekend. We'll get into that grid order here in a couple of minutes when cars roll off, but now the grid getting set, cars preparing to go racing here in just a few minutes, track getting cleaned up, a couple drift cars needing to be extracted. And of course, Kyle Heyer will be joined by Jared Deanda here in just a couple of minutes for the start of this race. But the pole sitter for this race is going to be Zach Lavoie, the number 42 for ASM. Eric Jensen will start alongside him. And the race winner, Jeremy Swenson, from race 3, 2, and 1, he will start in 5th. So not buried as deep as you could get buried here with the field invert. It could be anywhere from 5 to 15 or so, depending on the race weekend and depending on the random number that gets drawn. That guy's looking right at the dead of the camera, and I just saw Charlie walk by. That guy's thrilled to see a camera. Hi, buddy. Hi, guys. All enjoying the live stream, getting all the shots here. I think there's an LED wall they can see, so they're seeing themselves on the screen. But let's see who's going to look the most awkward here. Is that a Red Bull in his hand, or is that a beer? What's he got? Zoom right in on that face. All right, the spectators here lining up by the thousands joining us at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Again, this is one of our 2 big festival events with music and motorsports coming together. You see the rain out here on stage right now. I think, going back to my cheat sheet for the Alpine Horizon Festival.com music schedule, that is not a toy that is on stage right now. Up next will be Call Me Charisma at around 5:30. Then it'll be Night Level at 6:40, Jake Hill at 7:50, Sway at 9, and taking back Sunday, and Puppet will finish off the evening here for GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon Festival from Pikes Peak International Raceway. Again, you've just joined us, getting prepped for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 4 in just a couple of moments. 23 cars will take the grid. 2 cars have retired for the weekend, those being Adam Wood, who is new to GLTC in his Subaru this weekend, as well as the number 88 of Brandon Poole. I have not been able to check in with Brandon to see what has happened to that car, but he is not going to make it for this one. Cars on grid, there's Michael Hilo on the right, the 224 Nissan 350Z. On the left is Felipe Gonzalez in the number 12 for Myriad Motorsports. Felipe in the number 12 is going to roll off down the order in 21st, Hilo in 22nd. And in 23rd place, and this is the news I was getting to, Brian Heitkotter, disqualified in race number 3 because last night they set up the uncorked tune on that car to do some testing and forgot to change it back. And so the reason why we saw Heitkotter sailing across the bank and faster than everybody else, he had a lot more horsepower than everybody else. So that's a disqualification for Heitkotter. And here's the sportsmanship of Forsberg Racing. Brian Heitkotter and Chris Forsberg went to our staff and said, hey, I screwed up. This is on us. let's take the DQ and we'll move on from here. So that's incredible sportsmanship. Again, that doesn't happen on a lot of series.
No.
So really cool, but unfortunately, Brian Heitkotter is going to start dead last in 23rd.
Yeah. Well, we saw how well he did earlier today. And again, so you're saying the tune was yesterday or earlier today?
They did the tune last night. They were working on some things, and they forgot to change it back to their GLTC legal tune last night. So they left it on the car for today. So race 3 was invalid.
That's why it was jamming.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's an unfortunate turn of events, and add that to the brake scenario that he had. Obviously, a lot of talent there.
Oh, so much.
Both behind the wheel and building the vehicle, and just that's racing. And there you go. You see Jimmy Jam right there. That is Jimmy, one of the crew chiefs there on the Forsberg Racing vehicle.
Here's the good news.
Very talented.
Is that we're going to get to watch Brian drive through everybody. This is kind of fun, right?
Totally. And so sorry, I'm coming into this just taking a break, but a reminder for everybody: inverted.
Yes. So
where did it cut? Where was the cut?
5, which is a really small invert for us.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Swenson is only going to start in 5th place. So it'll put Zach Lavoie and Eric Jensen on pole. If I had to make a bet which one will beat the other to turn 1, Eric Jensen and the LS Swap FRS, that's my pick. But he's got Tom O'Gorman and Andy Smedegaard right behind him, the 2 points leaders coming into the weekend. It's a tall task. Jensen has beat them before, but it's going to be an extremely challenging task to keep him behind him in the rain where Tom and Andy are so experienced.
As far as format, are we still keeping the 12 to 15-minute window?
Yep, 12 to 15-minute race. And again, with the track conditions as poor as they are, this is going to be a really intriguing race start. And again,
I like it.
Put your money on Tom if you like rain racing, because he just has the experience. It's been all Jeremy Swenson so far this weekend. Or was it? Tom finished 2nd yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's been Swenson. Remember, again, held up the number 3 3 times. That's what we're talking about. Can he do it a 4th? And notably, Jeremy Swenson has won every single one of the GLTC races. Didn't win in the top 10, right?
No.
Yeah.
He finished 4th in the top 10.
So that's where it gets interesting. Oh, this was a vehicle. I don't know how this. Have you seen this Alpina 7 Series?
Not up close.
Okay. Well, you're seeing it. I don't know how it's making around the track. It's dragging muffler. I mean, the thing is dragging frame. It says static. So what that implies is that it's not on bags. Look at how low that thing is.
How do you get it into the track?
I don't know, man. I see it. Really cool 7 Series. I saw it in the car show. That thing rips, does not rip anywhere. It rips bot dots, which are the separators of the lanes. But a cool Alpina 7 Series. That was voted on via the eBay Motors, who is going to be the kind of pace car. And, that vehicle won.
It's really cool. I bet the GLTC drivers are happy. It's going to scrape all the rubber off the track from the drift session a little while ago. So all the underbelly will get all that stuff out of the way. Let's have a look at our starting lineup here for GLTC race number 4. Kicking things off on row number 1. I think for the first time in his career, Zach Lavoie will start on pole position alongside Eric Jensen for G-Speed in his LS Swap FRS. Row 2, ASM, Tom O'Gorman and Andy Smedegaard, one in the 94, one in the 212. Tom on the left, Andy on the right. Row number 3, it's going to be Jeremy Swenson, race winner of all 3 races so far this weekend. He's got 5 wins on the season. Can he do a 6th? Starts alongside Jackson Maverick Jensen in 6th place. Jake Jorenstad starts in 7th, and Tyler Starr rolls off in 8th in his 2013 Subaru BRZ. In 9th place is Joel Morrison in the 171 Nine Lives Racing Myriad Motorsports car. Jeremy Boysen starts 10th in the white and black Porsche Cayman. Row 6, starting in 11th, is Fiona Liu in the 888 car. Great starting spot for her. Julio Crispin starts in 12th in the number 911 350Z. Row 7, Hans Horpedahl in the 77 Myriad Motorsports car. Nick Steniford, hometown boy, starts 14th in the number 87 Honda S2000. Row number 9, row 8 rather, Wes Case on the inside, Robert Vierhout on the outside of the number 95. Row 9 will be Colton Wade in the 02 Acura RSX, the Mugen livery. That is an ex-Pirelli World Challenge car, by the way. Savannah Little rolls off 18th in her 851. Brandon Peterson starts 19th alongside Troy Castile, who is kind of the meat in the lap car sandwich at the tail end of the previous race. Row 11, Felipe Gonzalez and Michael Hilo are going to wrap up the rest of the field with just 23rd place Brian Heitkotter left to go through.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting turn of events, and like you said, the sportsmanship there of being transparent about the tune. Unfortunate, but it will.
Wow.
Look at Swenson already airing it out. So this is where everything you've learned throughout this weekend kind of throw out the window.
Yep.
I mean, not everything,
A lot of
obviously, but a lot of it. A large majority of it. I would say the only people that really benefit from it is the top 10 drivers that we saw go for the shootout that were early on. I'd say 1 to 5, because they got a little bit of wet knowledge there and where it's at. But it's, like I said, the track, it's not torrential. It feels like an aggressive talker, somebody that's spitting at you consistently. It feels a bit Ireland.
Yeah.
It feels, it feels a bit like, I don't know. We'll see who has the luck of the Irish, but it's just consistent.
Yep.
So.
Well, I can tell you the track conditions are bad. Yep. So we're going to see how drivers handle this. Zach Lavoie, Eric Jensen on the front row as we come up out of turn number 9, coming towards the green flag, and there they are, lined up 2 by 2. The final green flag of the weekend. Scott Giles in command. There it is. Green flag flies, and we're racing at Alpine Horizon. 5 wide, 5 abreast as they come across the start-finish line. Here comes Swenson up the inside. Nowhere to go, though. Look at Smedegard up the middle, 3 wide, and he's coming for the lead. Look at Tyler Starr in the middle of all that chaos.
Who is that poking out front? We do see Swenson. Looks like he works his way up front. And look, there's that LS-powered vehicle. But right now, the ASM, the 212, that is Smedegard. Again, his name is on the door. He definitely has every right to be there. Coming into turn 2, nobody overcooks it at this point.
Well, a little bit of drama's behind, side by side there behind them, but Smedegard out front. I think Jensen's going to be struggling to hold off O'Gorman behind. We all got through the banking. Highcutter dropped onto the flat in turn 2. Now, I'm curious to see if they're going to allow that to happen. If you come onto the banking, it's below the white line. It was a restriction. You got to stay in the white lines. I'm not sure if the banking is part of that, but it could be. That could be a penalty. We'll have to keep an eye on it. He's already up a handful of spots in the middle of lap 1.
Yeah, look at that. So here we go in, and we're going to see our first lap. So you could see the clock is ticking down. We start at 12 minutes. It's in that vicinity. That's what has been kind of the tradition, or what we've seen today. So as of this point, Smedegard does get the fastest lap at this point, and rightfully so. Jensen, O'Gorman, Lavoie, Swenson, Jensen, Boyson, Starr, Hilo, Jorenstad.
Through turn 1 again, over the bump. You can see where that tunnel is. Everybody gets over it nicely that time through. Look at Swenson back in 5th place. He got a great start, but had nowhere to go with it. So he wasn't able to squeeze to the inside of Zach Lavoie, who drops to 4th on the opening lap. Smedegard with a strong lead. Here comes Tomo on Eric Jensen. I think Tom's got a lot more experience in the rain, but Jensen's doing a good job so far holding him back.
Look at that. I mean, what is that? 3 of the top 4 cars right now are ASM?
That's correct.
Yeah, so, I mean, look at that. They, like you said, got a bit of a Jensen sandwich here.
And behind them, Zach Lavoie, Jeremy Swenson. Look at Jeremy Boysen up to 6th place.
Wow.
Great climb for him. In the number 40, I see Jackson Jensen has dropped a couple of spots. That silver Corvette, there he is in the background. Michael Hilo up a few.
Do you know if he changed tires? I know Cerise had some words with him about, just cut Kumos. Does he have wet tires on? I would have to say he's kind of like keeping it par for the course.
Yeah, you can only have 2 different tire types throughout a weekend. So you have to, if you've got a Kumo and a, let's say a Bridgestone, you got to pick 2 of those. You can't have a third.
He doesn't. He said, hey, I'll take top 10, and unfortunately, I think that's going to change real quick, just given the conditions here.
There's Fiona Liu chasing Hans Horpedal, Wes Case in the background as well. That is all for about 17th position onto the banking, chasing Robert Vierhout as well. And Jensen, I'm really impressed with him hanging on to 2nd place. This is a tough task to hold Tomo back in the race.
Yeah, that is very impressive. Is Tomo just kind of pacing himself and making sure that just goes for the pass? He's going to retain it? What is the strategy here? And, we talked about the tire swapping and all those kind of things. Don't know exactly what shoes everybody's wearing exactly.
Right, exactly. Here's Jeremy Boysen again. A really strong start for him, up a couple of spots. Woo! Jackson Jensen, Hilo, Tyler Starr, all inside the top 10. Jake Jorenstad's back there as well. Great scraps, great fights all through the midfield here. And Highcutter is up to, what are we looking at? 14th place.
Yeah, that's definitely impressive. So moving up 6+ places, back there in 21st. So, yeah, well done.
And Andy Smedegard up to a 106.266, 2 seconds faster than his previous best, so quickly becoming acclimated, and he is gone.
Yeah, 5.3. We talked about Gappleby's earlier, but I'll tell you what, it's more like Chili's because he's burning everybody.
There's Jorenstad past Starr in turn number 1. Jake on the inside, Starr on the outside as they hit the banking. And Jake is almost clear, but Tyler still got that K24 BRZ up on the throttle. Here they go, side by side into the kink and into turn 3.
Smedegard still out front. There's the 36. Starr, Jorenstad, trying to go for it, diving in.
Nicely done.
Yeah, a classic compact car battle there, right there, right? S2000 and the FRS 86.
Yeah, Jake Jornstad had a big handful of luck at the exit of turn 3, holding the power back in that car. Look at him closing mid-corner now, throttling up a little earlier, runs out to the edge of the road. Nowhere to go, though. Tyler Starr holding strong, and just behind them in 12th place is Brian Highcotter up another 2 spots, and he goes quicker again, 105.787.
And I apologize, the 36 does have a Subaru badge.
Yes.
So I will correct myself there.
You're learning.
Oh, I know the cars, bro. I helped launch the Scion FRS.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very familiar with the vehicle.
The 350 of Julio Crispin is under fire from Nick Stennefer, but Jornstad back on Tyler Starr through turn 1. Wes Case on Joel Morrison, Hans Horpedal going by the line. And here's Starr now losing a spot to Jake Jornstad, and Jornstad sets his sights on Hilo up the road for 8th place.
You could just see the mist in the air. You know, that's wreaking havoc on a lot of these racers. Not seeing some not seeing some windshield wipers here from Jornstad, but a lot of these guys and gals have either Rain X or some sort of rain slick. But we can see Highcotter working his way up. That's always exciting. Like we talked about, kind of a breakaway moment earlier for Jensen and Swenson. But Swenson back there now in 5th. Is that what we're looking at?
Jackson Jensen in 7th, Eric Jensen in 2nd, but look at Jackson under fire from Hilo, and yeah, Swenson back in 5th. He dropped there right off the gate in green flag, but Smedegaard continues to climb up the order and continues to run faster laps. Look at Jake Jornstad way out wide at the exit of 9, trying to arc it, maybe get some dry racetrack, and it kind of worked for him. He got a lot of speed, a lot of momentum, and now runs Hilo down on the front stretch. Highcotter gets by Starr as well, so move Highcotter into 10th. Just ran his personal best, so did Crispin and Veerhout. Both those drivers PBs that time through. Here comes Highcotter closing in that pack of 3. This is all going to be for a top 10 spot up as far as 7th if he can get all these positions.
Smedegaard is just running a clinic right now. 8.7 seconds, coming in hot onto the 23, and there's Jornstad. He goes for the wide swing. Is he going to dive in on the inside? Looks like Highcotter does take that proper line.
Tyler Starr, big moment here. Hilo and Jackson Jensen side by side.
Here
he comes.
Hilo.
Ooh, up the inside for Highcotter. Really tight here through turn number 4.
The 527 gets a little bit loose there. Jensen, talking about loose.
Wow.
Look at that Jornstad.
Jake hanging it out sideways. Every bit of power he can apply to the very slick surface here at PPIR. Highcotter offline there, trying to find some pace. Jackson Jensen up back around the inside. Great mid-pack battles. Hilo trying to run away.
So here we go. Highcotter taking that high line. Hilo, so Hilo's kind of like, all right, you guys go and fight it out. I'm going to get this fresh air up here. But look at Smedegaard, 10.5 seconds. 10.5 seconds. Where has he been this weekend?
Just absolutely gone.
Just pacing himself. I mean, look, Tomo, 11.9. He says, okay, boss, I get it. Talking about, you talked about Smedegaard coming this weekend, says, Tomo, here's the keys. He says, no.
Yep.
You drive it. You figure it out. Let's see where we're at. Tomo says, I want to figure out this car, right? Like that's the whole pace in the conversation.
Right, and I think Smedegaard, he's on those. He might be on the Bridgestone tire, and again, that's a real overdog in the wet. And Andy, again, continues to tick off faster and faster laps.
Fun.
Here's Fiona Liu and Nick Stennefer and Julio Crispin all battling for, looks like 14th place. Fiona gets overlap on the inside. Wes Case back here as well. This is fantastic stuff.
Yo, so good. Thank you so much, Kyle, for letting me just kind of ride shotgun with you and talk about this PPIR. Woo! And a culmination of a whole season. 1 round left to go, an overall championship, and where's that final round?
Heartland Motorsport Park in Topeka, Kansas. That will be October 7th through 9th, about a month from now, and that will conclude our 2022 season for GLTC points. Highcotter up a spot. Jackson Jensen fell a little bit. Nick Stennefer almost wiped out last time through the infield. He held onto it, but now under fire from Joel Morrison. But Andy Smedegaard continues to just light the tailpipes. He is gone. Afterburners on the 212.
And that's, the art of racing the rain, right? I mean, we know Ayrton Senna, one of the most fantastic drivers, was faster in the wet, just notably, and obviously, tragically passed away in a crash. But, there's just some people that adapt. And Smedegaard is obviously one of those people as we get loose here. This is not drift versus grip. This is all grip, but losing that grip sometimes. You throw it out sideways.
Yeah, Wes Case had a big moment there. Eric Jensen.
Smedegaard with the purple.
Yeah, he continues
the fastest lap
to run away. Eric Jensen second. Tom O'Gorman's within 9/10 of a second, though, for that second spot, so we'll keep our eyes on there. For Andy Smedegaard this season, he has won 5 times. Most of those wins came a little earlier in the season. He has not won a race since GridLife Midwest in June, so it's been a little while for Andy Smedegaard.
You know what's really interesting here is I still want to give credit where credit is due. Swenson has had a fantastic weekend.
Absolutely.
You know, and you said it out front. You said, hey, if you're a betting man, Tomo's your guy.
Yeah.
Not the case. Look at this. Jensen even giving a run and wasn't really part of the conversation of being a podium contender, but is now and is currently sitting in second. Tomo is right there. Lavoie, not part of the equation. But again, there it is, the Purple People leader, holding up the 3. Unfortunately, you know, all signs are saying it's not going to happen here. Something crazy needs to happen to Jensen and, of course, to Smedegaard.
Jeremy Boysen's closing in, and this is an interesting fight because if you remember last season, it was Jeremy Boysen and Jeremy Swenson and Brian Highcotter fighting to the finish in a 3-wide battle. All 3 of those drivers were battling for the race win in the last race of the weekend, and I think it was Swenson that ended up winning that. Or no, it was Highcotter that ended up winning that race to the line. But either way, it was a heck of a fight. Here comes Andy into lap traffic now. Sees it on the horizon, but only a minute and a half to go.
Do you think we're going to see white flag? Is this it?
I would expect one.
You know, I always say the white flag says last lap, but it's also mercy in this situation. Like, all right, we give up. You know, in times of war, this isn't really a battle. Smedegaard is dominating in a grand fashion. I think rightfully so, has been pacing himself, getting familiar with the car. There it is. There's the white flag. So I would call this a mercy rule because Smedegaard is dominating, flexing. If this was over the top, which you need to go watch that movie, Kyle, it's about arm wrestling, Sylvester Stallone. You turn around the hat, it's like a switch. Right now, Smedegaard turned around his hat. He says, I'm built for speed. I'm ready to do this. 17 seconds on Jensen. He's about to get the victory. Again, hats off to Swenson, who has actually knocked back to 5th. Tomo right there in 3rd. Lavoie, great effort.
Look at this.
Highcotter. Look at this grouping right here.
Here's
Killer bees.
Julio Crispin, Wes Case, Nick Steniford is in this fight. I think Fiona Liu's back there as well. 2 wide behind them. There's Joel Morrison and Fiona Liu and Hans Horpenal watching all this out the windshield. Can they dance through the infield on their penultimate lap? Fiona underneath Joel Morrison. There's Andy Smedegaard leading the way, though. He comes on through the last couple of corners for Andy Smedegaard. The often unthanked, well, I don't want to say unthanked, but he's just this quiet guy behind the scenes that makes ASM tick. He is responsible for so much of the success of the Team ASM. Today, the success is his. Andy Smedegaard wins at Pikes Peak International Raceway for the first time since June. Andy Smedegaard is a race winner in GLTC.
Congratulations to the 212. It was all Swenson all this weekend. 3 previous races. He held up the 3. Unfortunately, it stopped at that number. The overall race, the one that has the hardware, the one that has the podium, Smedegaard. ASM is scattered around the track, but Smedegaard gets the victory.
Yeah, and we still got battles on the racetrack. He was so far ahead. We got a lot of drivers still coming on through. Checkered flag now.
Almost a minute behind. That's a lap.
That is almost a lap for Zach Lavoie. He comes home 4th. Here's Highcotter and Michael Hilo battling for 7th place. Highcotter came from 23rd to 7th. Unbelievable. Boysen got by Swenson, and Boysen grabs the top 5. Unbelievable. First round with this car in its final form, and Jeremy Boysen steals the top 5 in the last race of the weekend. Swenson, Highcotter, Hilo, Jorenstad, Jensen. Unbelievable climb for Highcotter. What is that? How many positions? 16, something like that? 17?
That's a testimonial to his driving, but overall, congratulations. Look at this. Who's finishing here?
That was the 95 of Robert Vierhout and the 36 of Tyler Starr. Yeah, that was a drag race to the line there. Great fight. And here's the great thing about this. We just raced on the rain, in the wet, and everybody that started, I think, finished.
Yep.
That's a testament to how good these drivers are. This is no joke.
That respect, and that's something that resonates through motorsports and making sure that sportsmanship, it's uncontested. There are winners, there are losers. There can be only one winner of the weekend, grabbing that hardware. But overall, the sportsmanship and the racing caliber that we're seeing is so exciting, man.
And Jeremy Boysen, this has to be a victory for him. He and his son are here this weekend. And Jeremy, again, on the way here, that toter home that he was driving, steer tire blew out, almost went into oncoming lanes of traffic, got it slowed down, got the car here and still raced and just got a top 5. That has to feel amazing. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, congratulations to all the GLTC racers. 4 races overall. We had that top 10 shootout, but overall, really, really cool to see Smedegaard come out on top. And look at this. So we are seeing...
Yep, coming across the start-finish line and coming back into the pit lane here. And I think, again, without the points adjustments yet, the points are not final until all the race results are verified. But it's pretty safe to say with 3
I would say
wins,
unofficial.
Yeah, unofficially.
Unofficial is the way to put it, right?
But how about this? Andy Smedegaard, first time he's been on this graphic. Here's your race winner. Here's a Valvoline session rundown. Smedegaard, Jensen, O'Gorman, Lavoie, Jeremy Boysen, top 5. Then Swenson, Heitkotter, Hilo, Jornstad, and Jackson Jensen. And then the rest of the top 20. Here's Robert Vierhout battling Tyler Starr for 11th. Wes Case, Nick Stennefer, Joel Morrison, Julio Crispin, Fiona Liu, Hans Horpedal, Savannah Little, Felipe Gonzalez, the rest of the top 20. And this final page, of course, a little bit of troubles in this race, but certainly finishing off a weekend. Brandon Peterson comes home 21st. We had 2 drivers that were on the grid that did not finish the race. I think they came down pit lane and called it quits early. Conditions might have been a little bit out of their comfort zone, but finishing off a weekend, Jeremy Swenson is going to, well, I should say unofficially going to win the weekend here and take home a first-place trophy with him. It has been a long time since Jeremy won a weekend. Think back all the way to COTA, where he won those last 2 races. Right. That's when he won. Since then, it's been Andy Smedegaard won at AMP. Then, of course, it was Tom at NCM, Robert Thorne at GridLife Midwest, and then it has since June, it has been Tom sweeping everything until just now. Jeremy Swenson, an amazing season. Look at that paddock, chock full of cars from every different motorsports discipline.
So cool. It's really great to see, you know, I'm seeing Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his whole Fun Haver activation, seeing that wet track, and all of this means that, guess what, even though GLTC has culminated here this weekend at what we call Alpine Horizon Festival, part of the GridLife Festival, you know, series overall, but GLTC continues through the entirety of the season. But the festival, we call it that because, guess what, it's only 5:30 here, which means we still have drift. The live stream will be coming down, but we got night shift drift at 8:30 to 9, 10 to 10:30, and of course the stage goes live. Currently, right now, I believe it's called it's Call Me Charisma. Tonight, Night Lavelle, Jake Hill, Suko, Taking Back Sunday is in the building, and Puppet.
So that's what's coming up on the music schedule. This is going to do it for the live stream for this weekend. We have one more GridLife Live this season at Heartland Motorsport Park, our GridLife Finals at Heartland, October 7th through 9th. The 7th and 8th will be broadcasted and live streamed. That will be where we crown all of our champions. We'll have Greg Kramer back in the house for that one, so really excited to see the season finale in next month, but we're not quite done yet here this weekend, so make sure that you're tuning into racehero.io for lap times for track battle. They have one more session tomorrow, but we'll see you in Heartland in Topeka, Kansas for our GridLife Finals next month. We'll see you there. Coverage of GridLife Alpine Horizon is brought to you by Valvoline, the official motor oil of GridLife. Momo, made in Italy since 1964. FCP Euro, every part you buy is guaranteed for life. eBay Motors, let's ride. And Falcon Tires. The Falcon Azenas RT660 is the official tire of Club TR. And K&N, Performance Unlimited.
The more power you have, the more grip you have, the more you push the limits, the more stopping power you need. Get race-proven technology. Hawk Performance.
Hey, we still on this weekend for a little?
You know it. I'm in desperate need of some.
What about you, Jim?
No, my sister's getting the wedding. She's getting married, so.
When adventure calls, make sure you're ready to answer. Stable 360 ethanol treatment is specifically formulated for year-round use, so your engines will be ready when you are. Ready, willing, stable.
For those who don't settle when others do. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
Ed Vance here, and I'm at my favorite place again.
Sorry, did you say your name is Ed Vance?
That's me.
Like advance?
Crazy, right? And it just so happens he knows everything in advance.
Oh, you know the future? Did you know I needed 10W30?
No. I just know everything here in Advance Auto Parts, like where the 10W30 is.
So you don't know what I'll do next?
Actually, I do. You will be going to the oil aisle.
He's good.
He's Ed Vance.
I spent a lot of time here.
He's here a lot.
This is how we advance.
We've been powering the American road since before it was paved. Our first breakthrough in motor oil was introducing it. And we've been reinventing it ever since. From the world's first high-mileage oil to the world's first synthetic blend. There are those who change with the times, and those who drive them. Valvoline, the original motor oil.
At 303, we're always chasing perfection. Protect your ride with graphene nanospray coating. Now, boost protection, shine, and slickness with Graphene Detailer. Level up your detailing game. Harness the power of graphene with 303.